Alright, welcome back, guys. Okay, so as I look at this, because the designer in me, um, has to make changes. She just does. So certain things with the body, I'm going to change the color of body. I just have to. So I'm going to select body, and I'm going to choose. Oops, I'm going to choose Alt Delete to change the color to a darker blue. I am happier with that. And also inside of header, where this will help is just so that you know you can make adjustments. So in the background, I'm going to hit Command T because I kind of want this box to be bigger. So I'm going to hit Command T. Notice the picture is growing as I make this box bigger because it's clipped inside of it. Okay. So I'm going to make the header just a bit bigger. I'm going to make it maybe 160. Notice though, as I'm changing the size of the header, this little box comes up to tell me what size I'm making it. So notice the height says 165 pixels. That's how big I'm going to make it. That's where I'm going to leave this. And then for seasons, I kind of like how, actually, let me see. Yeah, let me see. No, I think I want to make it a little smaller. I would say 150. There we go. All right. And then I like how this little heel comes, and then it's kind of seasons is here. Then we have the follow us here, and then the heel kind of leads you, if you look at the flow of it, into the rest of the document. So I'm gonna hit return. Was gonna move seasons, but then I kind of don't want to, but then I could. So let me look at seasons. Let me see. I'm gonna play with that. See if I actually want to move it over some, maybe down some. Let's see. Yep. All right. Just gonna go for it. There we go. So I made those few changes even after having everything set, and they actually work out. So I like that. So with my wrapper, I'm also gonna change its color because I'm not feeling the. Remember I said we're gonna change these colors. We're not married to them. So again, I just clicked on the background, and I'm gonna change this color to maybe that light blue, which is that one. Yes, I am liking this much better. All right, so I'm gonna choose OK. So now I'm a little happier. I'm gonna choose save so that I can save this out. All right, so now what I wanna do is, so we have our header, we have our wrapper. Next thing we're gonna do, let's just go ahead and create our sidebar. Again, we're eyeballing these dimensions, so I think if I look at this, I remember this was 350 or 340. I think I want a side to be, say, maybe 300. All right, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna click here inside of my rounded rectangle. I'm gonna click one time. And yeah, a side, this bar is 364, so I'm just gonna make a side like I'll say 320. Height for a side, I'm gonna make about 400 pixels. Yeah, I'll say 400. I'm gonna make a side's radius 20. All sides, so the radii 20. 20, oops, 20. Choose OK. And I'm gonna keep it this dark blue. Do I want it this dark blue, you think? I don't know, but I can change it at any point in time. So for now, I'll keep it that dark blue. And then I have no properties that I want to change at the moment. I'm going to grab my move tool. Remember, the move tool is your best friend. I'm going to bring it down to about here. with a footer going in there. Actually, I'm going to change the size of my side, the height wise. So I'm going to make this maybe 330. I'm trying to keep my numbers even. 330 is what I want. Give it to me. There we go. All right. 330. Actually, I want it a little more narrower. More narrower. So I'm going to go to 250. Come on. And if you're having issues with the numbers, well, there it was. Oh, there we go. If you're having issues with making the numbers match up, remember you have that properties panel, and you can change your numbers in there as well. Oops. Right here, you can change the numbers in here to make it whatever size you want. I like eyeballing it because then it presents a challenge when it tries not to give me the numbers that I want. All right, so with a side, I think I want to move this in some because I do want my wrapper to show some. I know I said earlier I didn't want it to, but I actually do. Now, if I wanted to know exactly where 20 pixels was, I could put my, I can go into the ruler and grab a guide, and now it's at 30, so I know that 20 pixels or 10 pixels would be 40, 20 pixels would be 50. So I could also play with the guide to do that. Move this over. Let me see if I can get to 50 pixels. Come here, guide. Be friends with me. Let me see. All right. So I got it at 50 pixels. All right. So now where this is going to help me is when I go into the Dreamweaver, I'll know, hey, I have this 20 pixels in. So I'll know that I can give this a margin of 20 pixels. It's kind of cool. All right. I'm going to do the same for this side over here. This is at 992. See if I can get to 72. And again, if I can't get to where I want, if I zoom in, I'll get to where I want. So I'll take care of that when I get that far. All right, so I have my aside in here. I'm going to go ahead and I know within aside we have an image that's in there. Let me look at the old one. Yep. I just have an image in there. I can put some text in there if I want. You guys can put some text in there if you want as well. I'm going to go ahead and grab an image. I'm going to file. I'm going to place embedded. Again, I don't know what image I'm grabbing. I'm just going to grab something. So I'm going to go to the week 8. Nope, it was week 7. I'm going to grab week 7. Because in week 7, I had my image's name. That's why I'm grabbing that one. And I grabbed a summer picture last time. Let me grab, since this is representing all seasons, let me grab a different image. I'm not going to grab winter because with this blue scheme that I have going on, it already looks like winter time. Let me grab this one. Okay, I'm going to grab this picture. I'm going to resize it. All right, let's see. All right, so again, so I have this image, right? And I want to put it inside of this round rectangle. So again, all I have to do is clip it. And now I've clipped it. It fits inside of there. However, I also want to give it some of this blue tint that I have. Okay, so again, I can go to my actually, let me change the name. Let's change the name of this rounded rectangle because we want to stay organized because it's so easy not to be. And then it's so easy to have to look and try to find where stuff is. So this rounded rectangle, I'm going to change this one to BKGD underscore. This is the background for, what is this? A side. So I'm going to say side. And then image side. All right, so I can easily, I can go ahead and grab an adjustment layer. And I like to choose hue and saturation, but I want to show you that there are other layers in here as well. I can choose brightness and contrast. I can choose levels, curves, solid color, a gradient. I could choose a pattern, invert, posterize, threshold. So there are a lot of other filters in here. And I encourage you to play with those because they can do some pretty amazing things. I'm going to choose hue and saturation because that's really all I want to do. I'm going to choose colorize. And look, it knows the settings that I had last time from this image. So it just kept the same settings. So I'm just going to choose OK. I'm going to save this. And just for the heck of it, why not put, I'm trying to think if I want to put some text inside of here. I don't have it on the example, so I'm not. But you can put text inside of here, and then you'll manipulate it inside of Dreamweaver. But I'll go ahead and leave this as is for now. And so really our aside is done almost as far as designed. Now what we need to do is put everything in a folder for our aside. So let's select our hue and saturation, our image, and our background slide. So we have 3 selected. Let's hit Command G to group this. And then let's name this aside. And let's save it because we definitely want to do that. All right, so next what we want to do is go ahead and do our main. And once we do our footer, guess what? This mock-up is done of our main page. Okay, and you will want to come to class with your own mock-up, but also since you're doing this with the video, you'll want to have this one done too, because we're going to continue from here to go to the next steps of our phase of this site that we're building together in class. All right, so let's go ahead and do a side. Do our main because that's so easy to do. Just click on this rounded rectangle. Click on here. We made this one. What did we make that? We made that 320. Let's go ahead and make this one. What do we want to make it? 560. I don't know. We can go ahead and adjust this if we need to. And I'm just going to make this 400 pixels because I know I can adjust it. I'm going to make this 20 just so that you don't have to wait around for me to figure out math. Math is hard. It just is. I'm going to choose OK. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at its defaults. Go ahead and grab the Move tool. And notice I have these smart guides, which are so awesome. They just are. What they're going to do is ensure that we are, what's the word? They're going to ensure that everything is lining up. It's aligning. So I'm going to hit Command T because I kind of want this to go over here. Remember I said that 20 pixel buffer. And actually this isn't at 20 pixels, so I got to fix that too. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. I want even numbers. So I'll say 362. I'm going to make this 365. I'm going to go to Properties panel. And I can make this 365. I don't think it's still selected though. It is, okay. So 365, I want my width of this one to be 650. And we should be good. I'm going to take this, that over. Actually, I'm going to make the height just a little bigger. Let's say 375. About 380. Oops. I'm going to make it 400. All right, now I'm happy. Okay, cool. So this is at 400. I have my spacing kind of at 20 pixels, although here is a larger gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab a side, move it up just a hair. I'm pretty sure that's 20 pixels. Okay, so I'm going to save this. And I like the spacing. I like where this is going so far. I'm going to grab some text. And this is supposed to be seasons, but it looks more like it's winter. So I may want to put another color in here so that I don't get confused with that. But in any event, if I want to do that, I can. Let me go ahead and grab some text. And I think I have some. Let me see, file, import, go grab my text. In fact, I'm sure I have some. I keep grabbing the wrong file. Let me go here. And I pretty much just went online and grabbed some text about seasons. But as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to grab this text. That's where this information comes from. Go in main. But you guys should see it, or you should see this text inside of your, inside of that folder. I have all that text in there. I'm just lazy right now and I don't feel like grabbing it, so I'm just going to grab this text from here. Go here. And let me see, grab this. Go here. Hit place. All right, so I have some text in here. The thing about me bringing it in from another PSD document is it's cheating. And it's already formatted. I need to get text that's not formatted so I can show you what, so I can show you how to do this. So I'm going to go to the Google machine. Over here. And I'm going to go to Google search. And I'm going to search seasons. And I'm going to wait for the Google machine. And it gave me Wikipedia, which is actually the same text that I have. And I'm going to grab this text right here. All this. Command C to copy. All right, and then we're going to go to Photoshop. Now, I can just type this text in. And what happens when I do that is I'm going to paste it in. And it gives me these long sentences because Photoshop doesn't automatically wrap your text. You guys see that? I'm sure you witnessed that before. So this is called point text. Okay, this is where I just take the insertion point, click, and then it just drops the text in, and it does not concern itself with wrapping that text. I'm not going to do it that way. What I'm going to do instead is I can click here and I can click and drag. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click and drag. And now that I've done that, I've created an area for my text to flow in. Okay. So now doing that, if I hit Command V, notice it wraps based off of the dialog box that it has to work inside of. All right, so I'm gonna actually delete some. Oops. That's gonna be too much. Okay. I kind of want to see the text, so I'm going to change the color real quick. I'm going to change this to that lighter blue that we've been using. Okay, that's better. And I'm going to bring it in some. Just a bit. From the edges, I can do a text inset to do this as well. But Photoshop lets us do it this way, so why not? Bring this in, and I'm going to bring this in some, just a hair, not that much. Another thing with Photoshop, the closer you're zoomed in, the more control you have. So now I'm zoomed in a little more, and I should be able to, oops, escape in my type 2. I should be able to, there we go. Even with this one. Now I'm able to control it a little more. So I'm going to hit return. I like the way this type is looking. It's separate. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit zoom out. And now I have my main done. Except, look at this. See this type layer here? This means that I clicked on my screen somewhere with the type tool and it made an empty layer. If you don't want a layer, you can delete that out. You can drag it to the trash can, or you can highlight it, and then it's going to ask you to delete it, and just delete it. Alright, so now that main is done, I'm going to highlight these two. I'm going to hit Command G, and I'm going to name this one main, and we just have our footer, and then we are done with this mockup. Alright, so for the footer, again, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to click on. I just clicked off of this to make sure that nothing was selected, so that when I make a new layer, it just makes it on top and doesn't make it inside of anything. So I make sure nothing is selected. I'm going to click on this rounded rectangle. I'm going to click one time on my screen. I'm going to make it, I think 960 is my width. And I'll just keep it at 100 pixels. I'll make the radius 20 all around. Hit OK. That's good. And this over. Ah, like that. There we go. Okay, for my footer, I am going to change the color because its blue matches the body blue, and those two blues aren't getting along. So let me see. That's this one. I do need a splash color so that I can cut through some of this. I'll go ahead and make it this blue for this moment. Alright, so with my footer, I'm going to bring an image in here. I'm going to flip the script. Alright, so I'm also going to change the size because my spacing is off. So I'm going to make it right here. and change the size again. Command T, hit return, and I'm going to put in some copyright information. But again, I'm going to change this to background BKGDF OTR footer, and then I'm going to bring an image in. So I'm going to file place embedded. I'll bring, what image is this? I can do actual snow. I did winter, I did spring. Let's choose one from autumn. Since it's Halloween, I'm gonna choose this one. All right, so I'm gonna bring this image in. Go ahead and make it big enough. Go ahead and see what's interesting. What's interesting about it? Like this. I hit return. And now I want this clipped into this. So all I gotta do is hold Alt in between. And now that clipped into my footer image. I also want an adjustment layer. So I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna grab this hue and saturation. I choose colorize, and it colorizes it based off of what we used before. So that part's cool. However, I may actually, and let me clip this in. Oops. But what I may actually do with this one, because I have some footer information that I want to put in here. As a matter of fact, let's grab our type tool and let's go ahead and type that information. We had copyright web class 2014. What do I have in that footer? Copyright web design class of 2014. All right, so copyright web design class. Let me zoom in so I can see what we're putting in here. Copyright web design class of 2014. I'm gonna make it bold. Also gonna make it dark. Make it 24 point. We still can't see it. So we're gonna fix that in a minute. But let me center this. And the copyright symbol, the shortcut is Alt G. Why? I don't know. It just is. If you hit Alt G, you'll get the copyright symbol. All right, so I'm gonna in Photoshop. Okay, so I have the copyright information in here. I have this image in here that is too bold. So what I can do is one of two things. I can, one, it being the footer, I need this to be at the bottom. I just thought about that. So actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to highlight all of this. And I'm going to hit Command G. This is everything that has to do with the footer. Oops. Command G. I'm going to name this one footer. And I'm going to start doing some maintenance. Okay, so I have footer at the bottom. Header should be at the top. Let's go ahead and start cleaning this up. So it should be header, aside, should be next to header, and then main, then footer, then wrapper should be at the bottom as it is. Okay. All right. So now that we have all this straight, sorry. Now that we have all this straightened out, with our footer, several things. I want a space between copyright and that. Okay. But with our footer, we're going to I had a thought. I promise you I did. We're gonna make a little adjustment. So up here are our blend modes. So let's see what the different blend modes look like. Let's try lighten. Meh. This used to be my favorite blend mode. Let's see how it does. Luminosity. I love because it brightens the image. Let's try. And a blend mode might not work. I just like to choose blend mode so I can see what they do. Let's try these. Divide. Is that color? It makes it white. Difference in the image. Let's try overlay. Now I do like overlay. I do like that overlay kind of just brightens what's there. So I'm not upset with overlay. That's one option that we can use. Let's try hard light. Hard light is another one that adds kind of different dimension to the image. Vivid light, linear light, pen light. Like the way pen light looks too. Hard mix. I kind of like this one for Halloween. But I'm not in love with any of them. Here we have our exclusion, subtract, which I did, divide, indifference. Color, we colorize it, luminosity, saturation, hue. And then we have all of our ones up at the top. I think we did multiply. We didn't really like what it did. Color burn. So I encourage you guys to play with these blend modes because they can do some wonderful things for your images. And like I said, most of you play with Photoshop, so you kind of know what you're doing in Photoshop. My goal in this was just to pretty much show you what how easy it is to create a home page inside of Photoshop, and then eventually you're going to see how Photoshop makes this so easy to do web pages for the web. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go with, what did I say I liked? I said I liked overlay. I think it was another one. Was it pen light? No. I don't remember. So I'm going to go with overlay. But then I also want to show you guys this. Hold on. Let me go back to normal. I could also put an adjustment layer on top of an adjustment layer. So I have hue and saturation here. But let's say I'm like, okay, you know, I think I want another one. I can just go to the adjustment layer, and then I can say, I think I want to do brightness and contrast. All right, so I have brightness and contrast on, and then I'm just gonna lift. Notice it's doing the whole image, right? I only wanted to do the image that, I only wanted to do the footer layer. So what I can do at that point is clip this into there. So now it's only affecting the footer layer. So now I can go crazy with the contrast if I want. take it all out. And I can go crazy with the brightness if I want. Take it all out or put it in so that it's super bright. Bring it down just a little. So you can put an adjustment layer on top of an adjustment layer, on top of an adjustment layer, on top of an adjustment layer. Okay. Now, mine right now suffers readability, and I can spend time playing with that, of course, and I will on my own. You know, I could also put, you know me, in my drop shadow. I can put a drop shadow on this, and then I can make the drop shadow normal. That's just my favorite way. Make it 100% opacity. Make its distance 0. Size 0. But I can make it white. Then I can make distance 5. And then I can make, just play with this. This is all I'm gonna do. I can make, let me see. I can play with the contour, of course. We talked about that. I can play with the spread of the drop shadow, just so that it is seen. I play with the distance. Make it maybe 5. I can also play with the size, so that instead of looking crazy, it's kind of spread out. You know, I can do all sorts of things with that. I can turn off adjustment layers. Suppose I'm like, I don't really want the brightness and contrast. I can do that. And I don't really want the hue and saturation. I can do that as well. So you have a lot that you can play with. My goal was to show you how to create a mock-up. I'm going to hit Command semicolon so we can see what we did. I'm going to save this. And that's pretty much it. So you have to come to class with however, and do not lay your site out exactly like mine is. Mine is laid out this way just for the demonstration. Come in with your site that you create based off of this video, but create with your homework is to create a mock-up based off of your website idea that you have for your final. Okay, so it could be a portfolio. Some people do ones about a plan. Some people do ones about their favorite restaurant. Whatever you want to do yours on. I know their portfolios are very personal to you guys, and with you already having web classes, the portfolio one will probably have meaning. So whatever you want to make your website off of, it could be off of recipes, a blog that you want, whatever. So whatever you want to make it off of, that's what you want to show up with next class for Wednesday night's class. All right. So here is your mock-up, step-by-step instructions on how to do it. If you guys need any further assistance, please email me. Do not wait to the last day of class or a day before or night before the last day of class, because the possibility of me not being able to answer at that point could be great. But just, get this done, come in, and we'll go from there. Till then, talk to you guys Wednesday or whenever you guys text me. Hope you enjoy this series. Later.